Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, what we have here is we have a paper 4. Oh man, look at that, paper 4 extended. This is a tough one. It's worth 130 points. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over this one problem at a time. So I'll make a separate video for each problem, and I'll kind of I'll give you some resources on where you can look up, I don't know, find some help if you're getting stuck. This is a 2.5 hour test. Holy moly, this is a beast of a test. Let's go through this, right? If you want to pass the Cambridge test, you got to be able to do these. You can do this. I know it for a fact. I can help you out. Let's do this, right? Make sure when you do your test, you read the front. So all your answers are going to be in pen, dark blue or black. You can use a pencil like this wonderful Dixon Ticonderoga number 2 for any of the graphs. You write your calculator model right here. You're allowed to use a scientific but non-graphing calculator on this test. Couple things that are really important right here, right? For pi, either use the calculator or this. I prefer to use the calculator, okay? So use the calculator for pi. It says degrees, you're going to go to one decimal place. And for everything else, if the accuracy is not specified, give your answer to three significant figures. So these details right here, very important. And these change from year to year. Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're different. So you got to be careful of that. I'd hate to see you do all the math correct and miss because of those instructions right there. Got your reference sheet. Let's do number 1, shall we? So number 1 says, Ali, or Ali, I'm not really sure, leaves home at 10 o'clock. This is 24-hour time to cycle to his grandmother's house. So he arrives there at 1300, 1 o'clock p.m., right? The distance time graph represents his journey. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We've got time, we've got distance. All right, so this is when he arrives at his grandmother's house. It says, so calculate Ali's speed between 10 and 11:30, and then it says give your answer in kilometers per hour. Now I have to admit, I don't have a ruler with me. You need a ruler, compass, protractor for these tests. I don't have one with me because, well, class isn't set up because right now we're in the middle of school closures due to pandemic. So we're going to use this instead. All right, so check this out. Here's what you're going to do. From 10 to 11:30. So 11:30 is right here. So what I want to make sure of is I want to make sure I use this graph correctly. So 11:30, that looks like 12 right there, 12 kilometers. So what we've got distance equals rate times time. Write your formula every single time, even if it seems silly. This is a 2-point question, so you better show work because there is partial credit if you make a silly mistake. So his distance is 12 kilometers. His rate, we don't know. The time is 1.5 hours. Okay, so kilometers per hour, 1.5. So all you got to do is divide both sides by 1.5. So 12 divided by 1.5 is 8. Let's make sure, because we got a fancy calculator right here, 8. All right, 8 kilometers per hour. Now, next up, it says, show that the average speed for the whole journey to his grandmother's house is 12 kilometers per hour. So when it says show, what it's doing is it's telling you it gives you the answer, but you don't start with that. You do some math to make sure you get that answer. So look, average speed, distance equals rate times time. So the distance from his house to his grandmother's house. Ah, okay, so show that the average to his grandmother's house is 12 kilometers per hour. So he arrives at 1300, so his grandmother's house is all the way up here, right? So that is 1, 2, 3 hours. So we have 3 hours, right? We have 3 hours, right? We don't know the distance yet. The distance at 1300 is the first one above, right there. So that's going to be 36. This is 35, that's 36. 36 kilometers for 3 hours. So you divide both sides by 3 hours, divide both sides by 3 hours, that's 12 kilometers per hour. That's what it wants you to do right there. That's worth 2 points, okay? So you see, you don't start with the answer. You start with a formula, plug in your values, solve it. When it says show, that's what it wants you to do, okay? Now, change 12 kilometers per hour into meters per minute. 12 kilometers per hour is like this, yes? So there are 1,000 meters for every 1 kilometer. So we're going to multiply by 1,000, right? And there are 60 minutes. That's meters, and this is minutes. There are 60 minutes for every hour. So 60 minutes equals an hour. So I can just replace those. 12,000 meters is 12 kilometers, right? So let's just reduce. That's going to be 200, I think. Let's make sure. So 1,200, oops, 1,200 divided by 60, 200. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Yeah, 1,200. Hold on. I did something silly right here. Oh, divided by 6. That's my problem. I knew something was wrong. I divided by 60. I should have divided by 6. So 1,200 divided by 6. Do what's on the paper. Don't be in a hurry. 200. Okay, my fault. I apologize. Man, it's easy. It's easy to make kind of mistakes like that. So Ali stays for 45 minutes at his grandmother's house, and then he returns home. And he arrives home at 16:42. And it says to complete the distance graph. So he stays at his grandmother's house for 45 minutes. So 45 minutes we need to do this on the graph right here. So this is half an hour here, right? And that's 1 hour there. So if we divide that in half, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here, that's halfway. So this would be 45 minutes. He's staying at home, his grandmother's house. And you should use a ruler for this, right? Make it neat. Don't do it by freehand. And then he returns home. And he arrives at 16:42. So we're going to assume that he's going at the same speed all the way home, okay? 16:42. So that's 16:30. 16:30. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each one of those is 6 minutes. Okay, so this is tricky. This is not tens. This is 6 minutes per. Because look, that's 6, 12, 20, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. 42 is right there. Do you see? There's 6 minutes per. There's 10. There's 10 units here, right? There's 10 units, but that's 1 hour divided by 10. That's 6 minutes per unit. So you got to be careful, okay? Kilometers are by tens. These are tenths. These are not. These are 6 minutes. They're tenths of an hour, which is 6 minutes. So we just have to connect the dots between here and down there. All right. So, and again, use a ruler. Boom, done. So, hope that's been helpful. That is number 1 in its entirety. Do the next video. I'll connect it. Will be number 2. And we'll go from there. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day.